Hello, this is David Dean, and we're getting ready to finish off the three different types of traps for the new RePerk, Reroll, Recombobulator update that they did. I have already done wall traps and ceiling traps, and there is a link to that in the descriptions. Just hit show more, and you will see a whole list of a bunch of different videos I have done, tips, builds, soloing, and all that in the description box. I do want to state one other thing. When I've been doing these, I've been showing comparisons of what the trap was and then what it is now. And I thought I stated clearly that on the wall launcher, if it was up to me, it would be all impact and knockbacks. But I had a few people who didn't realize that that is what I wanted on it. I just hadn't got around to changing it all yet because I have not gotten enough RePerks to do so on this account. But on my second account, that's actually how it's set up. And to see how well those works, I should be doing Twine Peaks number 3 solo by the end of the week. And I'll have those totally maxed out launchers, and we can see how far we can make the husk fly. But let's go ahead and get on with the floor traps. I'm actually going to start off. This one's a bit weird because it's probably my absolute favorite trap or floor trap in the game. It's the wooden floor spikes. If you see my videos, I use these all the time. And the reason I use them is because damages and slows all enemies who are standing on the trap. And really what you care about there is the 30% reduction in speed of the husk. So any husk walking across these, they're going to get slowed for about a tile or two, which is great because then they're getting eaten up by all the other traps while they're moving through your trap tunnels much slower. They do damage on them, but it is a very small damage like this one. This one has been changed over. It does 5,000, but you do it compared to another trap, floor trap, that's focused on damage, and it's doing 33,000. The only reason I have leveled this up the way I have is because I solo the Storm Shield defenses. And when you have a trap tunnel that's going to have 1,000 husk walking over it, then suddenly, even if it's doing very little damage, that becomes a big deal. But it would still be the very last trap out of almost all the traps in the game I would spend schematic XP on, or any RePerks or anything like that on it, because since the main focus of this is slowing down the husk, and this is the new one, they don't give you any perks to further increase that decrease in speed. All they do is give you more damage ones. And like I said, you're increasing a percentage to a low damage, which means you're getting a low return on your buck. You're much better off putting your RePerks and all the other rerolls into other damage traps. And that's my opinion on that. The difference when you convert it over right now, after being converted, this one's doing 5,000 damage. Before I reconverted it, it was doing 4,000 damage. And basically I have all the same perks on it, except for on this one, usually I put the durability for the 6th perk. Usually you have 3 choices: building health, building regen, and durability. But these have durability of 356 times this trap will go off. So I'm really not concerned at all about durability on this trap. So that's why I went with the building health, because there really wasn't anything better to be putting out there. So as I said, this is a great trap, but it's also a trap you really don't need to be adding to until you do other traps. Going to my next favorite floor trap, it'd probably have to be the floor launcher. I don't use it in that many places, but where I do use it, it's absolutely critical, because usually this is on the floor in front of whatever objective I am trying to protect. So after those elemental smashers have gotten all the way through everything else with my trap tunnels, they get up to this, and this is the one that has to be able to knock back the smashers. And on that, you can see I just went pure impact, knockback, all the way down. And since this is at the end, I did put increased building health, because every once in a while you do get an exploder who gets through there with a propane tank or something. So that is how I went on that one. And this is how it was set up before. Not my choice, just what I got on it. Impact, durability, durability, impact, durability. Not that worried about durability, because like I said, these are going to be at the end of my trap tunnels. And also, these will be wherever, you're running a mission and the mobs are walking along a cliff edge, and then I'll put a 45 above it just to send them flying off the cliff. But once again, durability, I'm not that worried about. When you do all of that, I get the impact to 15,000. It was at 13.5. And knockback, let's see. Yeah, this one's showing a change in the knockback. I had 2,250. Now it's 2,000. That still seems wrong. I know on the launchers there is an issue. It looks like a bug with the knockback. And I'm wondering if they have the same thing on the floor launchers. Because if you look at the perks, this one is definitely doing a lot more knockback than the previous one, because I just have more perks assigned to it. So I think Epic still has a few bugs out there to fix. But yeah, for this one, definitely load up on the impact to send the smashers a-flying. Then, since usually when I'm building, I don't know what type of husk are coming in, I go a lot with the retractable floor spikes, because they just do a base damage regardless of what elemental type the husk are coming in. For these, just comparing it to what I had before, over here they were doing 19,000 with, I think, the same basic perks: 2 crit chances, crit damage, reload, and durability. And over here, 2 crit chances, crit damage, reload, durability. Yeah, so 33,000. Over here, 19. So that was a huge increase. 1,000, so 14,000 more damage on these by just changing them over to the new type. So yeah, I highly recommend that. And for what perks to put on this, I think if you go through, I've seen a few different spreadsheet things done on Reddit. They recommend 1 crit rating, 1 crit damage, 1 reload speed, and let's see, what else? Oh, don't have it there. Oh, 1 regular damage. That's it. Way I will probably set it up is probably I will just go a bunch of 2 reload speeds and 2 damage. Just so that thing is going off a lot. Another important fact about this, everybody looks at the retractable floor spikes for the damage. I really care about the impact, because when the impact counter on the husk get to 0, they get staggered and they're just kind of standing there for a second or so where they're getting eaten up by all the other traps again. So I really love the impact, and the more times these go off, the more that impact is going up. So yes, if you're going with crit damage and crit rating, you will probably be doing more base damage, but I want to focus on doing that impact counter as many times as possible. And then we move on to the 2 new traps they've added into the game. They've really done this because for some reason at the beginning of the game, they gave us 3 nature traps: the electric dynamo, the electric zapper, and the electric field. And all these were nature, which was great if it was water husk coming in, but if it was fire husk, they hardly did any damage at all. So to even that out, they gave us 2 new floor traps. We will start with the flame grill floor trap. Let's see, after I converted it, it is doing 30,000. Before I converted it, it was doing 28, so I got a small increase to damage. And just checking, yeah, both of them have 2 damage perks on it. And this one, it does good damage, but the big problem with this is the reload time. I think if you have no perks, it's 12 seconds. And a lot of husks can cross over this, taking 0 damage during that 12-second time. So this is definitely a trap that having maybe At least one, if not two, reload speeds on it would greatly help it. You do get lucky on this one. This is another trap where on the sixth perk, you almost have the same 3 perks every time. Durability, wall structure regeneration, and structure strength. On this one, it has a 4th perk option of effect duration. You definitely want this. That will give you one more tick of affliction at 20%. And hopefully you'll get another increase to that affliction as you increase it. So this one can be great, mainly if you know what type of husks are coming in. If you're running a mission, you drop the blue glow into the atlas and it says it's going to be nature husk. Throw down the fire traps, because the fire traps will just eat up those nature husks in a heartbeat. And then moving on to the next one. Freeze traps. I do enjoy these. I got to give a caution on these that if you have a trap tunnel and husks are coming through and you basically freeze a bunch of them in there and it creates a clog where no other husk can get through because of the frozen ones, then the husk will just start trying to tear down your trap tunnel and beat through the walls or throw their propane tanks or smashers just charging through it. So be careful where you use the freeze traps, just so you don't get a clog. I like using them further back in the trap tunnel when there's less husk going through at one time. And this one is another trap that affects what type of husk it is. Like if it freezes a nature husk, it doesn't do any increased damage the other traps hitting it. And once again, on the freeze traps, in case you didn't know, it does no damage itself. What it does is it freezes the husk in place, and then other traps going off or you shooting or whatever ability you're using will do more damage depending on what type of husk is frozen. Like I said, if it's a nature husk, it doesn't take any additional damage, but will still get frozen. But if it's a fire husk, it's going to take 50% more damage from everything while frozen. And then water ones take 25% more damage, and regular ones take 20% more damage. So the freeze traps aren't just about stopping the husk for a little bit and slowing them down. It's about being able to do some massive damage to the husk from your weapons and from your traps while they are frozen. And you will definitely see a difference if you're doing a mission, shooting the regular husk, and then you see one get frozen and you open up on them, and yeah, they will be dropping really fast. So for this, what I really care about with the freeze trap is impact knockback. That's what impact knockback. Knockback you don't care about, that's not a factor of this. What you want, the impact. And then for the last one, once again, you get a 4th perk to choose from, effect duration, which is what I really want on this. I want it to last as long as possible, and I want it to affect as many things as possible. And that's why I got all these impacts. The reloads were just on there from when I converted it, and I haven't had a chance to change them around. But yeah, I would load these all straight up impact, and then down here, effect duration. And let's see, can we tell a difference? This is the new one where the impact is 9,600. The old one was 7,400. And going back to the perks, yeah, this one had durability, and 3 reload speeds, which was horrible. So the new one is definitely better by being able to switch out the durabilities with impact. It does have kind of a low durability, 32. Well, I guess that's about average. But as I said, I usually put them in the back of my trap tunnels. So they're not going to get used very often, but they are going to be getting used on the smashers, which is just absolutely critical to stop those in the tunnels and have them getting eaten up. And then we do have 2 other ones, not really traps. We have the heal pads. I hardly ever use the heal pads. I always have heal as one of my gadgets. But if you want the heal pads, I would definitely recommend just going heal amount. Forget reload speed, forget durability, just load up straight heal amount, just so you can get healed as fast as possible. Usually when you're throwing down a heal pad, you're close to dying. So the fact is, you want to heal up as fast as possible. So that is my recommendation on that one. And same thing with the Cozy Fire. This one I converted over, and you can see what I was going for here. Healing, 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 healing. Since it is an epic, I don't have that 6th one down here. But if I did have the 6th one, then that one I would put durability. And that just means the campfire is going to last a little bit longer. But that is it for the floor traps. I hope these videos have helped. Definitely ask me questions, your thoughts, how you would do the perks if it were you. But no, definitely for me, when it comes to leveling up traps, with floor traps, I like leveling up the floor launcher and the retractable floor spikes, just because I know they're going to work on everything. And then after that, if I were to do it, then I would probably go for the freeze traps and finally the flame grill traps. Did I say freeze trap? Yeah. All right. And that's my advice on that. So once again, in the description box, if you click show more, you can see a listing of all my videos. And I look forward into showing off some of these traps in my next Twine Peaks Storm Shield Defense 3 solo attempt. Take care and have an amazing day.